You may think you've seen every version of the Joker, but I guarantee you haven't even heard of a whole lot of these clowns. Today's video is about the forgotten, the obscure, and the less talked about Jokers in moving media. How obscure are we talking here? Well, as obscure but official as it gets. These names are a part of Joker history, but not an often discussed or even known part of Joker history. Now, apologies in advance because a lot of these aren't really something that I can break down and analyze. Some of the time, all I can do is just direct your attention to them. So that's what I'm here to do today. Let's start with one of the most recent additions into the Joker lineage, David Hornsby, or as I know him, Riggedy Cricket. He played the Joker in last year's Merry Little Batman. Now, what's interesting here is that Hornsby doesn't do anything to alter his voice. He's not really changing things up, he just so happens to have a voice that works well with what this movie is going for.
Batman? Impossible! Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. Sorry, it's the only Christmas song I know the words to. You two look so cute together. I almost hate having to blow you apart. Well, if it isn't my two favorite new henchmen, just give it to me! Gimme! 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 Gimme, 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 gimme!
The Joker in Merry Little Batman is an angry, annoying man-child who just wants to relive his glory days with his best of buds, Batman included. This version of the villain was very reminiscent of the Dark Knight's Joker. Physically speaking, that is. In terms of appearance, I would say that this character looks like what Heath Ledger's Joker would look like had he been drawn by Tim Burton. It's honestly a pretty underrated design, all things considered. We just don't have enough long-haired Jokers, do we? The character makes a continued cameo in the animated movie ScoobyDoo and Crypto 2, where he was surprisingly played by Nolan North, which on paper doesn't sound like a match made in a good judgment. I mean, for as good as Nolan North is, I certainly wouldn't think this role would be within his range. However, in thinking that, I would be mistaken. There isn't a lot asked of North here, and there's not much for the character to do, as he's not really the focus or even any sort of focal point, but at times you almost wish he was. This is a solid depiction with a highly underrated look. I don't think anyone will ever claim that this is their favorite Clown Prince of Crime, but it gets the job done. And it's a job done quite well.
You said it, Puddin'!
Now, compared to the rest of these Jokers, the last two that I mentioned were fondly remembered and recognizable. And now here's where we start to get into territories that a lot of people probably haven't seen. You have portrayals like Michael Dobson, who played the part in the motion comic Batman Black and White. The character was well designed, with his signature smile being given a spotlight, as he was more tooth than man. In terms of performance, this is actually a lot better than I'm used to seeing from motion comics. Now granted, I've probably only seen a handful of motion comics, and it's very possible I've just watched the wrong ones. But usually, at least in my experience, it's pretty poor performances with people who really just don't give much of. But Dobson sounds more than passable in the part. And while he sounds identifiable as the Joker, he doesn't sound like he's doing an impression of any specific Joker. He just gives the character a voice that matches his appearance and makes sense for the character.
Nobody move or the clown gets it! You know you're insane, don't you? I'm insane? Oh sure, I have one or two small delusions of my own. Anyway, long story short, big bomb, boom, hundreds dead. You too, what do you think? Okay, so it's not terribly original, but you have to admit, the Ferris wheel is a nice touch. You actually think you can stop crime. I stop it every night.
Actually, after another listen, I will add that while he doesn't sound identical to another Joker, it does sound like he's attempting to emulate another Joker. Dobson at times sounds like the poor man's Batman the Animated Series Joker. It sounds like that's what he's going for, but he misses the mark. Hamill. Still, the end result is a good enough interpretation of the character, and I'm not going to complain. David B. Mitchell played the Clown Prince of Crime in the 2013 Batman game. A game that you may have played if you've ever visited an arcade or movie theater. I know I have. The game sees the player play through pure chaos in Gotham City, with brief cutscenes in between. It's a whole lot of fun, and that's not the point of this video. Maybe that's a different video for a different day. The Arcade's Joker has one of the worst designs I've ever seen for the character. Like, he looks sick. And not in a good way, like, I mean, he looks ill. Well, like, not in a good way, I mean, he looks rough. He looks more unhealthy here than he did in Arkham City. His face is just, it's so bizarre looking. And his devil horned hairdo is just, it's too on the nose. You know, there was at least a little subtlety to the side horns before, but now, this has just got him looking like Ace Ventura in that one scene of the movie. They were never this blatant, or this bad, but luckily he sounds a lot better than he looks. This is another performance that feels very much grounded in the first few portrayals of the Clown Prince of Crime, maybe with a little hint of Tom Kenny in there.
Well, that's the end of this suit. What do you say we go again? Say, Bats, I'm hosting a little soiree this evening, and I'd just love for you to be there. I promise it'll be a blast, unless you're chicken. Thank you for playing! Do come again!
He's over the top and he moves about in a very theatrical way. And I can't tell if that's to be authentic to the character, or that was just kind of the style of the game. But nonetheless, it works. Another Joker in games is Fred Young, who seems to be the voice of pinball, acting as the voice of the Joker in the Batman 1989 pinball game.
Do I look like I'm joking? Where does he get those wonderful toys? You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? You created me. I created you. This town needs an enema.
Now true, you may say that his Jack Nicholson sounds a lot more like Heath Ledger, but that's a good thing because he's also voiced Heath Ledger's Joker in the Dark Knight pinball game.
Jackpot. A little fight here. Go on. A little fight.
And last on the list is a guy by the name of Mike Pongritz, who does the voice of the villain in a laser maze attraction. I told you these were obscure.
My bombs are set to go off in 3 minutes, Batbrain! No one can stop me now!
An honorable mention goes to Seth Green and Giovanni Ribisi, who would take on this reoccurring role on Robot Chicken on multiple occasions.
What you do isn't my thing, but still, I have mad respect for you. Word! You can't be serious.
Of course, these are unofficial parodies of the property, so they're not technically official Jokers, but then again, Mark Hamill himself would step back into the role on this very show, so I think that's gotta count for something.
Beware, Gotham City! Nothing can stop the Joker! Welcome back to Arkham's Top 40. I know Jesus has forgiven me.
Is that a joke?
Sucker!
Hi guys, it's me, Joker. A lot of people have been asking for a makeup tutorial.
You know, like Cameron Monaghan, it's been retconned that these guys were actually the Joker. So, that was some of the lesser spoken of Jokers. But even in saying this, there is still a plethora of other obscure versions of the villain. And if you like this video and would like to see a follow-up on all the anime Jokers, and believe you me, there is a couple of them, let me know in the comment section below by leaving a comment saying,
Smokers are jokers!
I am vengeance. I am the night, and that was V Infuso. Just remember, if you're not tuning in, then you're missing out.
So, if you like the words that came out of his mouth hole, and you too would like to become a V-generate, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, nerds!
And if you're not joining the fun, you're in for one bad day. And you know what they say about having one bad day?
Catch him next time. Same bat time. Same bat channel.